Been joined by Mr. Jeff Onnoghen. Is the Deputy National Chairman of the Inter-Party Advisory Council. He joins us from our Abuja studio. It's good to have you on the program. I spoke to the National Chairman talking about the legal advisor now earlier in the week, and he talked about a demonstration following the suspension of the CJN by Mr. President. So essentially, your council has demonstrated against the suspension. Are you now accepting the outcome following the recent outcomes such as the Code of Conduct Tribunal indefinite adjournment, the NJC emergency meeting recently, and perhaps the dismissal of the served proceedings recently by the Court of Appeal?
Well, thank you. The Inter-Party Advisory Council, the umbrella body of the political parties, watching the development in the country, and at the auspicious time, there will be an official announcement to that regard. But as a council, we are worried about the development, especially that is happening some days to the general election. We have a lot of apprehensions, a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety in the air from the first day that the president refused to assent to the electoral bill that would have, so to say, guaranteed free and fair election. For the president not to sign that bill set a lot of apprehension. In fact, we have never been relaxed that that bill was refused assent on the subterfuge that the time was not it was not timely, that it was getting late, when in the last 4 years the then president Goodluck Jonathan signed the electoral bill 48 hours to the election. So the reason the president gave us was not satisfactory enough.
Indeed, but isn't that water under the bridge?
As if that was not enough, this issue of the Chief Justice of the Federation came up again at the time that we're almost nearing election. And everybody is very much aware about the role that the judiciary will play in terms of the election. Even our party primaries, the inter-party, intra-party, and the main election are subject to judicial review. And we know that the CJN the judiciary has to play a very prominent role in the judicial review of this whole entire
Mr. Onnoghen, tell us, do you think there is a lacuna? Because we already have an acting CJN who has been sworn in. So what is the apprehension about, really?
The apprehension is that the president has intimidated the judiciary. The president has, so to say, exceeded his bounds. The president, under our constitution, doesn't have powers to suspend the CJN. The president doesn't have powers to appoint an acting CJN without the recommendation of the National Judicial Council. So all this the president has done, for us now, it has set a lot of apprehension in the sense that he has really intimidated the judiciary. Take it or leave it. Whether the acting CJN is there or a new person comes in, the action of the president has, in a very great way, helped to intimidate the judiciary. The judges will now be apprehensive because the manner and way these charges came up against the current CJN, because he's still a CJN until he's removed in line with the provisions of the law. Gets a lot of person to worry in terms of the.
Let's ask you. Let's quickly ask you. We just have just a few minutes. The dismissal of the served proceedings by the Court of Appeal do you think that perhaps that endorses Mr. President's decision to suspending the CJN in the person of Mr. Walter Onnoghen?
Well, I don't think so, because the law is above her. And although the appeal court has given a verdict, there is still a court above who will expect that the lawyers of the CJN should take that up to the Supreme Court. But having said that, I'm not a legal expert. We are only monitoring the situation from the political perspective. And from all we can see, everything seemed to be politicized right away from the manner the petition was filed, the rate at which the arraignment was to be done, and the speed was something that baffled everybody. And today, we see that action of Mr. President in suspending the CJN as highly political.
We'd like to thank you.
He wants to use it to intimidate the judiciary, and then the political parties, especially the ones in opposition, about 67 of them, wrote and opposing that presidential action.
We certainly will be talking to you in the future. We'd definitely like to thank you, IPAC, and that's Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, Deputy National Chairman Jeff Onnoghen, for joining us on the program.